Ago, about a few years back, my life was full of discord, dysfunction, out of balance and out of whack. And I didn't have no belief system. I didn't have no stability. I didn't have nothing that I could forge two together to even put 2 cents together or even put a few dollars at sometimes. But through a newfound providence, which actually means the care, protection of God or universal force, um, that I'm here today. So, about a few years back, I actually started to read the Holy Bible, and I take a different approach from it. I take it as a metaphysical tool. I take it as a deep spiritual tool, and I take it as a deep esoteric tool, because there's a lot of allegories and there's a lot of parables in this book that can bring new light and new understanding for a deeper understanding of the word. What I picked was building a spiritual house on a rock, because without having a stable foundation or something that cannot move unwaveringly or can be readjusted and remolded, that's where I start to look at things differently. Because if I look at it as an intangible sense, or if I look at it as a personal sense, it says that don't put all my trust into man, because man will fail me at all times. And I have to find something that I can hold dear to my heart. So by doing this, I went back from way back when. I started back from Egypt to all the way forward. And I found a very secret knowledge, something that I hold dear to my heart. Some people call it esoteric. Some people call it Sophia knowledge. Sophia, they also call it Christ-like. But I'm more of a spiritual person. So I just want to make that first and foremost before I start talking. In the book of Proverbs, it said, through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it may establish. First and foremost, I have to understand what really wisdom is. For me, personally, since I come from a life of crime, I come a life from a gang member, I've been homeless. I have a high addiction problem. I used to be an alcoholic. And by the grace of God, or a newfound providence, that obsession has been lifted. So by understanding wisdom is actually understanding my own life experiences, by my own trials and failures, by getting back up when I don't want to get up, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym, by finding something that I can, like Les Brown said, the will to do it. I have to find a way to do something that I'm not comfortable with. Because I'm sure enough not comfortable right here, right now. Because this is the first time I ever spoke in a church. I spoke in several places before, like a recovery center. It's something I'm comfortable. But this is uncomfortable. When there's uncomfortable, there's a change process right there. Because I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and I'm doing something different. By doing something different, and I'm changing inside. First, I can dapper up all the outside exterior, put all this fancy clothes on, but if I don't change the inside, I don't change at all. So that's why I picked this, because this is something that I had to do on a deep spiritual level. Some of my mentors are here, and some of my mentors have passed away, because one of my mentors said that I have to believe in myself and not give everything away. First, I have to understand what belief is. So I have to look up the definition for it. So it means trust, and it's real to me. Then if I want to take it a step back further, back in Egyptology, back when they had hieroglyphs, they had pictures of things. So I got a picture of a bee, right? Then I have a picture of a leaf. Then you put two together, what do you have? You have belief. So all the words that we speak are magical. You can't see the words, but you can hear the words and they can resonate with your heart. So I have to understand that first before I start talking. because my words either can edify you up or destroy you. It's a two-edged sword. So I have to be very discerning what I say and how I say it nowadays, because it's all about lifting up people now. It's not about destroying people. So I've already destroyed half my life. Now, since going on almost 2 years now, my whole world has changed. I've started my own company. I started to understand theology and esoteric stuff. I started to venture out, where I became a sous chef this week. Something I'm not comfortable doing because I have no means of transportation. But if there's a way, there's a will, and I have to do it because I gave my person my word. Because my word is my bond now. Because what I say to you, I must do. Because if I don't do it, then what is that? That's a lack of trust of somebody now. So my word is my trust. It's also my bond. It also goes to says, I wrote down here, wisdom comes from our own life experience that we go through every day. By we learn, we gain wisdom. Socrates said, once I realize I know nothing, I'll start to understand more wisdom. It also says here in another Proverbs quote, I have to apply thy heart unto instruction and thy ear to the words of knowledge. So I have to apply something now. I have to apply stuff into my life. I have to do stuff that's what's right. I have to do the next right thing. Like, I have to pay my bills on time. I have to do my taxes. I have to do a lot of things that I'm not comfortable doing. But in all in a sense, I do gain knowledge. I gain true knowledge of the divine spirit, which we all possess in our hearts. If you really want to look into it, it says there's a Greek word, it's called nascite ipsum. It's to understand thyself, then you'll understand the gods in the universe. I believe that the creation of the world is in all things. It's not separate. In the Bible, it talks about the cherubim, that you're a co-creator. He walks with you. He doesn't walk against you. He doesn't put on too much that I can't handle, and whatever I ask for, I might just get. Because of the wildest dreams, you just might get. I've had the pleasure of actually living some of those wildest dreams this week, to tell you the truth. Even being up here, a month ago, I went to Unity Church downtown Detroit with Don and Jan. They asked me to go see Les Brown. I heard that name before. I'm like, okay, this resonates for some reason. And I said, I'll go. So if I jump on an opportunity, right? And if I lead by faith, faith is having an understanding of something I can't see, but I know it's there, right? So I have to walk on these waters, right? That's what it says in this book, if I believe in this book, right? And if I believe in this book, I have to believe in all knowledge, not just this book. In all knowledge, you can find the truth of oneness, of the omnipresence of the Spirit of Himself. That's what I believe. By working this out and finding formulas that work for me, like Mark Davis told me to believe in myself and not give everything away, has catapulted my whole new way of life, my whole new way of thinking. This man here taught me a little bit about alchemy. A few of these people in here has helped me out along the way. We share a common bond, a common unity. Because when one person is by himself, he can do little works, and he can be weak and fragile. But if you put union of people together, when three or more together, the Spirit of God is with you. That's what they say. They also said when you put more in a cord, you bind them up as sticks. You can't break those sticks. So that's what unity is about. That's what this church is about. Because when you bring people together under that same spirit, you can't break that spiritual force that's happening. Because there's something happening right here, right now. By me doing this right now, I'm actually changing the course of my life and probably somebody else's life in here. I don't know who, but it will change. Because by me doing something that I'm truly not comfortable, I have to grow or I have to go. as my buddy Lawrence would say. See, I pick up a lot of things. I don't talk a lot, but I listen. Sometimes I heed the word and go off on the wrong track to learn something new where I can teach somebody else. Because by me going off the wrong track, I found the right track again. And I fell off the track, but I'm back where I'm supposed to be. It says down here in Matthew 7, chapter 7, verse 7 through 8, ask and you should be given. What does that really mean? Because I have this tough man mentality about myself. Probably the majority of the men in here or women in here think they can do things by themselves. Might run their cars into street corners or walk down the street and say, I got this, or I know how to do my finances, I can do this. But by asking, I'm doing something more greater. I'm interacting with human life now. I'm interacting with the Spirit. Because by asking, I'm bringing down those defenses now. I'm bringing down that barrier and asking for help. How many of you really ask for help on a daily basis or find help in others? Because we have to all ask for help somehow, some way. It also goes on to say, seek and you shall find. On this road, what do you find? You got a room full of people today at this church. I find a lot of things on this road. I find biker ministries. I find Micah 6. I find Davis House. I find a brother. I find all sorts of stuff. I find a Theosophical Society. That's one of the craziest things I've done so far. But this tops the cake right here today. But through this, by seeking, one actually finds oneself and find God, or God as you understand him. Because there's about 365 names for God that I've looked up. But there's only one, basically. So I call him the Creator. And it says, knock and it shall be open unto you. What does that actually mean? Where do you knock at? If I don't ask a question, how do I learn to knock? So there's a book that says, if you knock in the innermost self of yourself, you'll find your own answer to your own problem. If you sit still long enough, you might find somebody to talk to. That might be the answer. Or it might be asking for help. That might be the answer. Who knows where the answers come from? It might come from a radio. It might come from a song. It might come from a textbook. It might come from the Bible. It might be coming from somebody down the street, or somebody standing on the street corner, holding up a sign, asking for food. I've seen all those things. I've had a few friends pass away because of it. By finding something that I can call my rock, that it's not a physical rock that you can see. It's an internal rock, that a flame that's been relit when it was dim. Imagine that, a flame that's relit. To bright shining, what's in me has to shine now. It has to glow around me. Now I have to be a helper when somebody helped me. I have to not boast when my ego wants me to boast. I have to keep the commandments, even the world commandments of what it says. It says to love your neighbor as yourself. So I have to love myself before I can love anybody else. But how do I really do that? Sometimes if you come from an addiction lifestyle like I do, you have to go through a lot of transformations. You have to, sometimes go into a treatment facility. You have to trust. You have to trust somebody for once. And listen what they say. There's this to me is what I worked so hard for. I never thought I could be a motivational speaker. And that's what I'm doing today. This is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to become a motivational speaker.